Welcome. In front of me is a Xiaomi POCO X4 Pro, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So I'm going to begin with the dark mode, which can be found under settings, display, and you have just a hard toggle right here, so you can switch between whichever one you want to use. Or you can also tap right here on a schedule dark mode, which allows you to basically enable it, and then it will switch automatically based on, well, time of day. So during the daytime you will have it in light mode, and during the nighttime you will have it in dark mode, which is what I would consider the best case scenario. And additionally you have also custom, which allows you to set up, well, time at which it starts and ends the dark mode. So it basically provides you more control over it. So that's number one. Now moving on to number two, we have the display refresh rate, which by default for some stupid reason on this phone it's set to 60, even though this phone supports way more. So again, it's under the display right over here, and you have 120. Now I do recommend changing it. It will give you a much smoother experience using the device, so everything should look way better than it does on 60. I do also have this animation from Xiaomi right here to show you how it will affect the image. And this is a quite exaggerated version of it, but it's still how it affects it. Now, for everybody else who wants to prioritize only battery life, this 120 will consume more of your battery, so might not be the best option for everybody, but for everyone else who wants to have just this nice smooth experience, this will be a really good option. So right now it's enabled, and yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is gesture navigation. Now, gesture navigation is not inherently located in display, but it can be redirected by scrolling all the way down to the blue text right here, full screen display, and this takes you, I believe it's in additional settings. And right here you have the gesture navigation. So once you enable it, you can learn it, or well, disregard it. Let's select not now, I already know how to use them. And this removes the button from the bottom and substitutes it for this bar right here, which can swipe up to go home, swipe up and hold to go to recent, and then swipe from either side to go back. And now moving on to the next option is going to be home screen and basically everything that is in there. So you go to the settings, home screen, you have a bunch of things that you can tweak around here. So you have launcher. If you want to use a different launcher, you are completely free to do so. Obviously I'm going to be showing everything on the default one, which is the POCO launcher, but if you installed some other one, obviously you can change it right here. Then we have things like personalization for backgrounds, icon packs, customized layout, so this is for how many apps are on the home screen. Manage app categories, which is a really neat feature right here. What it does is when you're using the app drawer, as you can see, you have categories at the top, and you can swipe between them to locate different apps in each one of their categories. Now, the way they're displayed right here is not necessarily the best option, but the best way, but it's still the only way you can have, at least on this launcher, and it's neat that you have access to it. So what this option will allow you to do is create your own custom categories, which you can then sort icons or applications to them. And this is really handy because I'll be completely honest, on my phone I use something very similar, though for me it's with a launcher. So as you can see, I have my categories right here, and the launcher sorts them automatically to the given category. And this is really neat when you're trying to find some kind of application really quickly. You can just flick to its category and it should be located in here. Now the default ones that are right here obviously will have their apps sorted automatically into them, but if you have created some of your own categories, you will most likely have to move apps manually into those. Anyway, let's move on to the next option, which is the memory extension, I guess. I don't know how to else call it. So let me quickly first open up the settings for it. So it is obviously in the settings, and then under additional settings we will have memory extension, and this allows you to add 2 additional gigs of RAM to your storage, or well, not to your storage but to your RAM capacity, but it is based on your storage device, so it consumes 2 gigs from your memory itself, like the one that you could occupy with files and stuff like that, and converts it into RAM instead, giving you just 2 gigs more if you need to utilize that at some times. Obviously the 2 gigs won't be as good as RAM is, but it's still a neat feature to have if you're not using all of your storage. And this will provide you with some, I would consider this features, I guess. I don't know how else to call it. So when you're having 2 gigs more will allow you to have more apps running in the background. So when you go into like recent applications right here, I only have one, but obviously if you have more, that 2 gigs will allow you to basically switch between apps and have them still running in the background without actually needing to be reopened again, as you sometimes see when you open an app and it just has this white flash and then loads it up again. So that is basically when you're running out of RAM and the device just terminated the app, still shows up in your recent applications, but the app isn't running because RAM isn't allowing it. It's not enough, there's not enough RAM on your phone to keep it running. So this will allow you to have more apps running in the background. But anyway, this will conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I wanted to share with you, and if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.